Hey everybody, it's time for another real life superhero intro. This time this is another sports combat rock and roll costume intro. Only this one, my first one, which was at nighttime, that was more of a rant version. This is more of a positive review version. This will also be the debut intro for another real life superhero debut and my progress as a real life superhero. So with that being said, let me hit both of the interest themes. I'm using both Kurt Angle's and Jeff Hardy's Impact Wrestling themes. Let me hit the intro right now.
This has been to the top. My this has been at the top. My this has been past the top. Still my this has been past the top. Straight to the top, but then keep heading up and start shining why they should know what is real and how it really feel. The only way to feel the best it feels in a way that your body's as strong as we face in this life. There's a lot of time to get ready to showcase these skills you will get and you like it for what it's worth. Show out the style you rise in life. Show up a way to make it right. Make it to the top of my vision. Until you feel there's nothing more for you to do or say.
Get up, I'll never let up. Ferocious, I'm fed up, dismissing the competition. You're hopeless, trash, they're efficient. Listen, you want a class on tradition? Or one condition? Forget the best of the century. Talk about the best of all time, you better mention me. Essentially, I'm the best of all the me. I hold my ground, you never take it from under me. Don't run to me, it's gonna be trouble. I hit you so many times, you see triple or double instead of one of me. I got more heart, more ready to tear you apart. I lay you down early on, or maybe in the later round. It's no different to me. If you tap out, cash out, or simply pass out for free. Cause you face down, really, you barely alive. Cause I'm an animal inside, hear me? Hopefully you see what I mean. Knock you out, haven't seen. You were beaten by a triple team. Box you out the whole scene and gleam. The line like my dream, I shine bright. Smash you, front to back. You gon' need hindsight. In fact, when I attack, you're lucky if I leave you intact. I'm prone to overkill. I work you over till I steal your motor skills. It's the same whenever I'm done. You're numb, throw the thumb. Most can't remember their name or where they're from. And some speechless, dumb, looking deaf and dumb. Your weak like 7 days. Get afraid, I'm amazed. Y'all still step up, cause I hit more men than Jenna Jameson in better days. You can't clear your heads, you with a Jenna Hayes.
Hey everybody, it's time for another retro cartoon block review. And this time, it's time for my real life superhero USA Cartoon Express block. This was originally going to be one full block with the Action Extreme block, but I decided to split them up into two blocks because there were two videos in the background that I wanted to use and I couldn't use both for one video. So instead, I'll do this one, and the next one will be the Action Extreme. To see the original Part 1 version, the link will be in the description box. The narration with pictures, the links will be in the description box below. This is the real life superhero webcam version. Highlander, the animated series, which was one of the original shows on this block, alongside The Problem Child, which I'm not going to talk about, and the Itsy Bitsy Spider show, which I'm also not going to talk about. Yeah, the USA Cartoon Express block, phenomenal cartoon block, and one of the best blocks of all time. Its successor in 1995, USA Action Extreme, which is the next video, was way better. But this was a great block, and this block, according to Wikipedia, I could have sworn it was Nickelodeon. Now I'll talk about this in the part 1 on camera. But yeah, so with that being said, let me get started right now. Let's start the video. By the way, episode 1 of Highlander will play in the background.
7 centuries have passed since the Earth plunged into darkness. 7 centuries since the Jupiter
Yes,
swore for the game
USA
for man
Cartoon
lost
Express.
the
Like I
most.
said, I was shocked to read and hear that this cartoon block, this is the first children's cartoon block, predating for cable, predating Cartoon Network by a decade. This was in 1982, I think. This was in 1982, and this was Cartoon Network before Cartoon Network. But the children's block, going back to that, I could have sworn, wasn't Nickelodeon the first cable channel? Actually, that was, I was right. Nickelodeon was the first cable channel. That was the first cable channel. I think that was a paid channel, whereas this one was free. This USA Cartoon Express was free to watch. But yes, the USA Cartoon Express, like I said, it's prototypical Cartoon Network. They had all the cool Hanna-Barbera shows. My favorite, Scooby-Doo, Josie and the Pussycats. Both versions, Scooby-Doo and all its spin-off, Josie and the Pussycats, and its spin-off, Josie and the Pussycats in Space. What was that other show? The Jetsons, the Flintstones, the other Scooby-Doo clones like the Amazing Chan Clan and Speed Buggy, shows like that, Yogi Bear, Huckleberry Hound, Quick Draw McGraw, and all the classic and modern Hanna-Barbera television shows that were airing at the time, like the Blue Falcon and Dynamite series, the Space Star series. These shows ceased airing on the USA when Cartoon Network launched their channel, when Tuco Broadcasting launched Cartoon Network, and we acquired the rights to all of these shows and other 80s cartoons like He-Man and the Masters of the Universe appeared on here. G.I. Joe, Real American Hero. G.I. Joe, Real American Hero. So what's up with G.I. Joe? G.I. Joe, Jace and the Wielded Warriors, which I started watching in 2013. This show is average, but it has one of the best and coolest theme songs of all time. I always get injected with a needle of nostalgia whenever I watch this show, despite not growing up with it, despite not growing up with this show. I started watching it in 2013, but yeah, Jason the Wielded Warriors. What's up with Jason the Wielded Warriors?
I do, sometimes. One scary trick. Always the same, and it happened for real before I started dreaming about it.
Jason the Wielded Warriors, other 90s shows like The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, Captain N, the Game Master, and the Adventures of Super Mario Brothers World 3, which I thought, this one is Super Mario Brothers World. I thought these were better Mario cartoons than the Super Mario Brothers Adventures 89 cartoon, the late Captain Lou Albano. I thought these two were better. They were closer to the Mario games than the first one was. These two air here. What else air here? What else air here?
Quentin the Dundee. I'll be back.
Oh yeah, Batman. Oh yeah, before I get to the next one, Captain N, the Game Master. This, in my opinion, is one of the best and worst cartoons of all time. As a Saturday morning action adventure comedy, action comedy drama adventure based cartoon, Captain N was okay. Captain N was okay, but as an adaptation of the Super Nintendo the 1980s Super Nintendo characters, atrocious, man. One of the worst adaptations of all time. But the cartoon was entertaining as it lasted. They managed to get like 3 seasons of that garbage. So yeah, Captain N, the Game Master. Yeah, they were spared my previous worst cartoon list from 2013. Oh, but don't worry, they will have a place on my newest one. Captain N, the Game Master. What's after the Game Master? What's after the Game Master? Adventures of Sonic? No. Oh yeah. So, yeah. Already talked about Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. This is the weaker and worser of the Sonic cartoons. However, this was the first Sonic cartoon I ever watched, and this was the start of Sonic. There was a brief Japanese anime Sonic the movie, but that was obscure. This one right here was the very first real actual Sonic, primetime Sonic cartoon adaptation. This tried to be the Road Runner, the Hanna-Barbera cartoons, and the Ninja Turtles, 1980s Ninja Turtles, 80s Ninja Turtles cartoon, and it's an exciting, it's an always fun, exciting cartoon to watch, and it was the start. This laid down the blueprint for the future, much successor and much superior Sonic cartoons that will follow it. This started it all for the Sonic cartoons. So yeah, I have a huge appreciation for this cartoon right here. Then you got the Superman, Batman adventure based you got the Superman and Batman adventure based cartoon, the 90s Superman and Batman adventure cartoon aired here, aired here. Like I said, Batman and Superman. I like their individual stories. But however, I like their team ups better. I like them teamed up with other superheroes, especially each other. And the Batman and Superman Adventures cartoon was a phenomenal and better, and even was a phenomenal sequel to the legendary Batman the animated series, the Superman the animated series. And I thought this, alongside Superman the animated series, was better than Batman the animated series. So yeah, and then going back to He-Man and G.I. Joe, happy to see those cartoons get some those awesome 80s cartoons get some cool 90s treatment. Yeah, so especially since the actual 90s show, the actual 90s He-Man show wasn't seen that much.
Of Xbox Game Pass.
Since the actual 90s He-Man show wasn't seen that much in the 90s. Good to see the 80s one still keeping that franchise alive until the next He-Man style cartoon, which was the Conan cartoons, and then later they would have their own reboot in the early 2000s.
But we both know to make change last,
yeah. Then like I said, the original shows were the Itsy Bitsy Spider, which I'm not going to talk about, and the Problem Child. I'm not going to talk about those, but the one I will talk about is Highlander, the animated series. I first heard about this in the mid 2000s. I got into Highlander in the early 2000s. I got into Highlander through Mortal Kombat. I saw Christopher Lambert in Mortal Kombat, and then I saw my uncle watching Highlander in-game, and I saw Christopher Lambert doing the same voice, doing the same radiant voice here in Highlander, and then I became that, and I was introduced to a new franchise in Highlander, which is vastly similar to Mortal Kombat. So I can see why the Paul W. Anderson chose Christopher Lambert to be rated, because he kind of plays a character similar to that in Highlander, which was a decade before Mortal Kombat. But you can see with the third one, being 3 years before Mortal Kombat, the live action film. Yeah. And then I heard about an animated series. I was too young to watch, and I didn't know my own television at the time to see this show when it was on. So I caught it. I didn't get a chance to watch it. I didn't take the time to watch it until once again the mid to late 2010s, 2016. I only watched a couple of episodes, so that's why you never saw a review. We're gonna do a short review, giving my thoughts, which already the show is phenomenal. So yes, spoilers. The show is already. I love it. The show is already phenomenal. Can't wait to watch more. The Highlander animated series. This is a film. This is a post-apocalyptic, futuristic film. Well, all of them are set in a post-apocalyptic world. All the Highlander adaptations are set in a post-apocalyptic world. But this was a new, exciting one where the Highlanders, the Immortals, they put aside the game, the quest. They put aside the quest to help preserve humanity. But the bad guy decides, nah, I'm not going to do that. So the great descendant of Connor McLeod, the great descendant, I keep forgetting his name. I already forgot his name, but he's awesome. He is guided by a guy named Ramirez and some other character, and
Do you know your name, child?
they take the fight, and Ramirez guides him, and they
And what are you planning to do?
and they work together to defeat the bad guy who wants to go against the new pope and put away their swords and help preserve humanity, something like that. Yeah. I'll explain more when I get to the actual review. This is a TV block review. But this was my review of USA Cartoon Express. Like I said, the start of something good. Predecessor of the Cartoon Network, and in my opinion, the first and best children's blocks of all time, alongside BKN Kids Network. This had the best lineup of shows, and the sequel, the successor, USA Action Extreme, was way better than this. I almost forgot, before I get out of here, I gotta talk about the bumpers. Bumpers were pretty cool. The bumpers were pretty cool too. It showed randomly animated people on a train, sometimes a boat, but usually a train on the cartoon, on the board of the train, which is called the Cartoon Express, to a theater to watch, to a classic drive-in theater. I haven't seen those since the 90s and early 2000s. To watch
Good, that's better. See, it is precisely because
to watch the USA Cartoon Express lineup. And I saw one bumper, which I initially didn't see this when I did my first narration review. I saw another bumper with actual characters like Yogi and them and the Flintstones on the train with the passengers to the USA Cartoon Express lineup, to watch the lineup. So pretty cool creative bumpers. You will see that same creativity with the later Cartoon Network, who had a bigger budget and did even more with the
7 centuries ago, after the Great Catastrophe,
more with the bumpers. The bumpers featuring the characters were more exciting than the shows themselves, and got you hyped and excited to watch the shows. Yeah. Bumpers are still cool now, but they're not as great as they were then. They're not as great as they were then in the 80s and 90s, in early 2000s decades. This was my review of USA Cartoon Extreme. USA Cartoon Extreme. USA Cartoon Extreme. Action Extreme is next. You don't want to hear the rest of the music? Turn the video off right now.
Perhaps 10 centuries from now, another immortal will come to challenge us. An immortal who will not be bound by the oath we have just sworn ourselves to. And on that day, Cortan,
To make it right.